Thank you, Joel. Thank you for that welcome. I actually stand up and talk to a couple of hundred kids for a living, but this is a lot more daunting, to be honest. Good evening, everyone. Okay, now I'll be fine. Thank you. 289,872,000 seconds, which gives you just over 9 years. Why do I count the seconds? During our journey, when I speak about our, meaning my wife, Bianca, and I, there's been many moments that things have changed in a single second. From absolute joy to absolute heartbreak. So we have lived every single second of this journey. Those seconds take us back to the 13th of April, 2017. The day Bianca and I lost our first baby at 16 weeks. We were told 1 in 10 million chance that this would happen to us again. Well, we should definitely play the lotto more often. I'm going to start right from the beginning, and I'll try and get through the boring parts quickly, but I have to put it all into context. In 2016, Bianca and I had been married for about 3 years. We had bought our first home, and all we really needed to complete our perfect little life was a little Bartman. That dream came true with a positive pregnancy test. We were over the moon, so were our families. Grandparents went into absolute overdrive. We had a fully kitted nursery before we had even announced the pregnancy. You know how it works. After the heartbreak of losing our baby, we knew that we could not question God and ask why. I can honestly say that throughout this journey and many heartbreaks, we have never asked, why God? We have full faith in the Lord. He has a plan for us. And we just needed to trust Him. Trust me, it was not easy at times, but we did it. His plan was to send us on an adventure from the beautiful little south coast town of Scottburgh up to the dusty town of Ladysmith to fix our broken hearts. I actually had seen 2 positions advertised at a school up in Ladysmith, a little private school, very similar to Kynan, looking for a deputy head and a foundation phase teacher. And I thought, that's just perfect for us. And I went home and I said, Bianca, I've sent our CVs through to the school. She just started laughing at me. Ladysmith. We'd never seen Ladysmith in the light before. We'd only ever driven through it in the dark. But when a few days later we got a call for interviews, her laugh changed a little bit. And off we went up to Ladysmith for our interviews. And things worked out. And in 2018, we started our new life up in the special town of Ladysmith. We had decided to try our best not to fall pregnant in our first year in our new jobs, if we only knew what lay ahead. Life in Ladysmith was good. After seeing how well Bianca could shoot my guns, I never got home late or won an argument again. I'm going to skip ahead to August 2020. It had been over 3 years since we had lost our baby. We had been trying again for nearly 2 years and just couldn't get pregnant again. After many visits to the gynae, all the tests that could have been done, we started our fertility journey with Vitalab in Umhlanga. Over the next 8 months, we would travel 15,000 kilometers between Ladysmith and Umhlanga for our fertility treatment. We would leave Ladysmith at 4 in the morning, get there for our appointment at 7:30, have a quick brekkie, and head back up the hill to Ladysmith. You can imagine the amount of time we were away from school, but the board and the head of the school were extremely supportive, and something we will be forever grateful for. God had sent us to a good place. When you hear the words fertility, first thing that comes to mind is it's expensive. I can confirm this is true. We didn't even dream of IVF due to the cost. Doing an AR round at 12,000 Rand was a big push for us. 6 months later, we had been through 4 rounds of AR, and unfortunately all unsuccessful. There was only one more choice left, and that was IVF. We had somehow managed to fund the AR with savings, inheritance money, cashed in some policies. We only ate once every 3 days, but we got it done. An AR round starts at about 120,000 Rand. How were we going to do this? Once again, all the glory belongs to the Lord. We sold things, used our bonuses, had some very generous aunts and uncles, and we did it with him by our side. On the 10th of May, 2021, we got the best call ever. It was positive. All the sacrifices were worth it. God had worked his magic. Going for a scan and hearing that heartbeat after everything was one of the most amazing days of our lives. This picture is not shown to invite pity or sympathy. Rather, it is a testimony to God's faithfulness throughout our journey. It serves as a reminder that through every challenge, uncertainty, and obstacle, the Lord was with us every step of the way. If there's one message that I hope to leave with you tonight, is that all glory belongs to him. Our story is not about what we have achieved, but about what God has done for us and through us. Every single one of those injections, and there's lots that we couldn't get into the picture, my wife had to receive. At about 9 weeks, our hearts were broken once again when we lost our pregnancy. It was an extremely difficult time for Bianca and I. Even though we had made friends in Ladysmith, our family and real support were very far away. It was at these times that the Lord really put his arm around us. We didn't ask why, and we kept our faith in God. I think you can all attest that God works in mysterious ways. I'm certain somewhere in your life you have felt that. This time it was Bianca who found a job advert for a principal at a little small Christian school in Westville. She visited the website and found that amazing video that Coffee Creative had created and said, "Bryn, have you seen this perfect little place?" She encouraged me to apply, and I agreed. Life happened, and the closing date had arrived for applications, the 17th of June, 2021. It's quite funny because it was almost exactly like this 5 years ago. I was leaving the next day with the grade 7s to the Kruger Park. Bianca's mom was on the way to come and babysit her for me for the week. And she lost her best friend's husband and she turned around and had to go home. So it was a bit of a rush at home and what was going to happen. Ladysmith is not the safest place and everything. And I think we were finally in bed at about 8:30. And Bianca said to me, "Did you send your CV?" And I said, "No, Bianca, I didn't. There's more important things." And she said, "Send it." I went back and checked. I sent that CV to Jane Edmonds at 10 to 9 that night. So I just sneaked in. I was shortlisted, went through a vigorous interview process. They put me through my paces, and somehow I was the lucky one. In September of 2021, our journey brought us to this amazing community. And tonight is an honor to share our story with you, because this community has played a massive role in our journey. Once again, the Lord working his magic. I do need to touch on our first interaction with some of the New Church Westville family. After I was appointed, Bianca and I were invited to come down for a weekend, meet some of the parents, come to church, meet some of the New Church Westville family, and we were invited to a bra at the Standages with the Kynan board members, Di and Brian Belden, Joel and Malcolm at the time, and of course the one and only church secretary, Kerry. It was a wonderful evening getting acquainted with our future family, because that was what you have become. You're now family to us. And That is what makes this community so special. Later in the evening, the highlight was definitely hearing Kerry's favorite P word. You know what word I'm talking about? Pressy, of course. During the trip back to Ladysmith that Sunday, Bianca and I were just so happy that God has sent us to this school and community. After just one weekend of meeting and interacting with the New Church Westville family, it was evident what a special place this is. And I just want to say, do not take that for granted. Often we only realize how lucky we are and the special things we have in our lives when we no longer have them. It is rare these days to have something so special like this place. We officially arrived in January 22. We knew God had a plan and really believed He had sent us here for a reason. Over the next 4 years, Bianca and I would go through another 4 IVF rounds. 3 of the 4 were successful, and once again gave us that amazing experience of hearing that little heart rate, little heartbeat. God had other plans for us, and we lost our babies at almost exactly the same time every time, about 9 weeks in. We had not shared our fertility battles with everyone. From experience, we had learned how you are treated differently by your friends, your colleagues, once they find out about it. We didn't want that. I had shared our journey and position with some of the kind and board members and my close New Church Westville family. The support we received during our times, we will never forget. To be honest, even though the majority of the community had no idea what we were going through, just the interaction we had with you on a regular basis, you treated us, supporting us, giving us hope, and helping us to never give up. So I want to thank you, this community, for being you. Bianca and I had always said we would not give up. It was part of God's plan for us to continue with this journey of trying to become parents. We would stick at it. We had got to a point where we had used up all of our resources and options, cashed in our pension funds, saved as much as we could to continue. But the time had come when we had to face reality. Financially, we could not continue. The Lord had other plans. We received a gift that will allow us 2 more rounds of IVF. A gift that we will appreciate for the rest of our lives. Bianca and I have one big dream, that one day we are in the position to give that gift to someone else who's also in our shoes. In 2024, we were extremely blessed to visit Bryn and attend the new church assembly. Brad and Kath Heinrichs had arranged for us to stay with a family in Bryn for a few days before the assembly. To be honest, we were actually terrified, staying with strangers in a different country, and they were quite a bit older than us. They were even older than Kerry. It was all part of God's plans. We arrived as strangers and left a few days later, family. We had the most wonderful time with the new church community in Bryn. Bianca firmly believes that if God had to live on earth, it would be in Bryn. It is not possible to describe the beauty and give it justice. The couple that we stayed with, Dave and Nancy, had adopted 2 children who were now adults. We were fortunate to meet their daughter, Jade. Nancy and Dave had also been on a fertility journey for many years before they adopted. What are the chances that we would end up with a couple who could fully relate to what we were going through? Once again, God's handiwork. To be honest, throughout our journey, Bianca and I had never spoken about the option of adoption seriously. I do not feel we were against it. I think we just had faith in the Lord that He would do what He knew was best for us. After spending time with our new church family in the US, a little seed was planted. Jade, their adopted daughter, is a Chinese girl. However, when you see them as a family, you do not see a Chinese girl being adopted by an American family. You just see the most amazing and loving family. God just has his hand in everything. On our last day in the US, Bianca and I stood on the Brooklyn Bridge, and I believe God spoke to us. It was then that we decided we would investigate adoption when we got back, which is exactly what we did. We put our case forward to our wonderful Christian social services and left everything in God's hands. We tried our best to forget about it, and to be honest, life got so busy we did. We had also decided that on our return from the US, we would start our final round of IVF. We had just about enough money and credit at VitaLab to do one more round, and we had one more viable embryo left. On the 27th of November, 2025, Bianca was driving to VitaLab for a drip as our transfer was scheduled for the 1st of December. While driving, she received an email from a social worker about our adoption application. In Bianca's own words, she nearly rolled her car. We're in the middle of an IVF cycle, and now we get called in about a possible adoption. To be honest, it was the first time we questioned God. What are you doing to us? On the 29th of November, we met the social worker and started the serious part of the process. We were very real about the situation that lay ahead of us. We could end up with 2 children. We could end up with 1 child. And there was even a possibility we could end up with no children. We were prepared for any eventuality because we knew that the Lord was in control. The next few weeks was a complete roller coaster ride. On the 16th of December, we met our daughter for the first time. And on the 22nd of December, we took her home forever. God had given us the best Christmas present you could ever imagine. Again, the support we received from this community when we became parents was unbelievable. Everyone was so happy for us and celebrated God's handiwork with us. Looking at my beautiful wife this evening, you might not see it from here, but it's quite obvious that our last round of IVF was a success. God has definitely shown us his sense of humor. In August, we will have 2 under 2. It's going to be amazing. As I come to the end of our journey up until now, there are 2 things I want to leave you with. The heartbreak and pain we experienced over those 9 years is difficult to put into words. But on the 22nd of December last year, God made sense of it all. Had our prayers been answered in our timing, we would never have met our beautiful Brooklyn. God knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that she would need a home, and he chose us to be her parents. Looking back now, every tear, every disappointment, and every difficult day led us to her. And knowing what I know today, we would walk that same road 100 times for Brooklyn. God has a plan for each of us. We so often want things to happen in our time, but his plans unfold in his time. His timing is always perfect. I actually forgot what the next picture is. There we go. To this community, please don't think I'm standing up here as a teacher and giving you a lecture. But I said it earlier, don't take this for granted. Just look around the room. This is a special place. Yes, we bicker with each other now and then about something, or we don't like something or whatever, but you do not get this. This is really, really a special place. Thank you for how you individually contribute to it, even if you are the one bickering. It really, really is a special place. Please do not forget that. Tonight's story is about God. and what he did for us. But what he did do is he gave me the most amazing wife who has been through so much over the last 9 years. I didn't get one of those injections. It is hard to explain what she has been through and how she deserves what is coming her way. And I will always be grateful for that. Thank you.